What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Cyrus Obsidian here at Obsidian Games, here to bring you another episode of Local Diaries. So let us dive right in. So with the recent ban list, we decided to take it upon ourselves to update our decks and show you what these decks can do post ban list. We have gone through Mimigol, we have gone through Malice, and with the recent unbanning of Mathmech Circular, we can bring back Mathmech. We also have Mermail, Atlantean Mermail, but we might save that one for a windy day or a sad day to debut on this channel. But to kick things off, we are starting off with Malice, since that deck was the deck I last played and got my regional invite, or WCQ invite for. We decided to ramp it up, change it, see how well we can do with it tonight at locals since Stampede is out. We're going to take this, test it out, and just see how far we can go. Let me show you the deck profile, the spicy text that we're playing, and then we're going to head to locals to see how well we can do. All right, so here is our updated Malice deck profile after the ban list that happened at YCS Houston. So to kick things off, we are playing 2 copies of Malice P Dormouse, 2 copies of Malice P White Rabbit, 2 copies of Chessie Cat, 2 copies of Malice and Underground, with 1 TB11, 1 GWC06, and 1 MTP07. So I think until the new Malice support and Ad Ignister support come out, this is just how we have to play it, bare bones, because the loss of consistency, does hurt a bit, but we are able to supplement it with just the way that we play the extra cards that we do play in the deck. Sorry. So I mean, for the Malice engine, it is very small, but the next engine is even smaller. We're playing 1 copy of Mathmech Circular, 1 copy of Mathmech Sigma, and 1 Mathmech Equation. So I tried for the life of me going back and forth between the Superfactorial engine, because I love Superfactorial into Laplacion. I think that combo is just so busted, and when I played Mathmech, I just loved that ending with Superfactorial and Terahertz. It was always just so great being able to break the board that way as my opponent is trying to establish it. Was really great. But for this, since sacrificing the normal summon for diameter doesn't always work, I did see an interesting combo that Ryziel can play with the Superfactorial engine into Laplacion. I think that works out great. Might give it a try later down the line with this, but for now, I like how this works, just playing these 3 cards, because it gives you so much additive stuff to just lay on top of, losing out on the 1 Dormouse, 1 White Rabbit, and the 1 Underground. So I mean, these fill in pretty nice. And continuing on with that, we also play 3 copies of Parallel Exceed. This card is what actually gets us into the Mathmech engine. We also play 1 Coda Soul, 1 EMP Meow Mine, and 1 Template Skipper, alongside 1 copy of Dotscaper. So I'm playing more of a Cybers package. I have always believed that this was the way to play the deck, is by just a Cybers package. And it has worked out great in testing. We definitely will see how well that plays out tonight, because of this card right here, Cynet Mining, just being so really great at being able to get into any of our Cynet or Cybers cards, really. So I mean, the Coda Soul, EMP Meow Mine, and Template Skipper all act as just extenders if we need to play under Lancia. Same thing with Parallel Exceed, same thing with the Mathmech engine. Those are there to help us play under Lancia, and we can still establish a decent board under Lancia with this engine. And also keep in mind, EMP Meow Mine is also an interruption too. I've used it a lot for when I'm breaking a board. After I link off a link 2, just being able to return something is really nice. So that is what I'm giving a whirl, and we'll see how that works out. As for some other extenders, we play the 1 copy of Terraforming, 1 Gold Sarcophagus. I think those are just mandatory playing in the deck. With the loss of the field spell, Terraforming's there to act as a 3rd copy, and Gold Sarc is just really good overall. Onto our hand traps. Losing Shifter does suck, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. We play 3 copies of Ash. We supplemented Shifter out for 3 copies of Droll, because Droll is just really great into a lot of matchups. 3 copies of Imperm, and this is probably the controversial hot take for this build, is Dominus Impulse. I did manage to pick up impulses at the regional, so we're gonna run with it. If you can't afford the impulses, of course, you can always play something like Valor or the Bestials. You notice we're not playing those. So I like impulse because being able to set it doesn't hurt us as much with the rest of the engines, because we do get locked out of light, earth, and wind, which conveniently Drolls are wind, the Parallaxes are wind, Mathmech engine's all light, and does have an earth engine piece to it. Dotscaper's an earth. Thankfully, we still got Codosol, EMPM Mine, and the Template Skipper, but you know, for the most part, it does hurt a bit, but we have managed to play around that, which is really nice. And then the last two cards being one Cross Out and one Call by the Grave, because even crossing out a Dominus Impulse is funny. So that's part of the reason why we're playing it. It is a Saki one-of, yes. Could we have played something else? Yes. But we're just giving this engine a try to see what my funny brain actually comes up with. Moving to the extra deck, not much has changed since we last played it. We are still playing one copy of the Save Worm. We did add in one pre-Mathmech Alimmersion to get into our Mathmech engine, and one copy of Mirror Logic Aggregator. For the Terahertz package, we did drop the Enigmaster Pack Bit. We needed to sacrifice something, so that was what we sacrificed. We are playing one copy of Lingaribo, one Link Spider still, to get out of a Nibiru, Haggard Lizardos, Splash Mage, and SP Little Knight, along with a secret tech Update Jammer for our Link 2s. So this one is a funny one. Back when I used to play Mathmech, being able to close out games with an update transcode, you know, really spicy. This is kind of that same mindset, but without transcode talker. For Link 3s, we are playing one Decode Talker Heat Soul. This is to help us play Underlantia if all we see is the Mathmech engine, which I would be surprised if we do, considering we play so little of it. But Heat Soul, just being able to draw into non-engine or engine for the following turn, because we just need to survive a turn. That's what Heat Soul is there for. We also play one Red Ransom, one White, one Hearts Cryptor, you know, typical Malice line, one Access Code, and then the Terahertz, of course. So that is the new extra deck. I have been liking it so far. Heat Soul is definitely questionable, yes, but we are trying it out again. This is a very, very trial and error version of this deck until Alliance Insight comes out. You know, trying something with the Mathmech engine just to see how well that works. As for the side, we are playing 3 copies of Nibiru and 3 copies of Artifact Lancia just for the mirror matches. Nibiru is really good into most decks nowadays, so there's that. We also are playing 3 copies of Metaltronus since we were able to get a 3rd copy, which, you know, of course it got reprinted. We also play 3 copies of Triple Tactics Thrust with a 1 copy of Duster, 1 Talent, and 1 Dimensional Barrier. So with Talent's getting hit, I think, well, you just play more copies of Thrust or max out copies of Thrust, whatever. So that way you can just see the Tactics, the Duster, the D-Barrier, whatever you need. Thrust can also get us into our engine pieces. I once thrusted in for Goldstark in one of my matches, which, you know, was funny, and it just got me going. So there's that while I was in testing. So but yeah, that is the new and updated version of Malice. Let's take it to our locals to see how well we can do.
What is going on, you guys? Here we are at Duke City Games, here playing our new concoction of Malice at Quarter Century Stampede's opening. If you are picking up boxes or a box, definitely do it to support your local OTS and then buy singles. We picked up our own box just to support our local OTS for their amazing contribution to the Yu-Gi-Oh community here. And honestly, my last pack, I was so stoked. I pulled a freaking QCR Astrograph Sorcerer, and that just made me happy. It made me happy as a Pendulum player. I definitely wish we had pulled, you know, Fulos or Electromite, QCR, Zark QCR, the Access Code, any of those cards. But man, seeing that Astrograph QCR and a clean, perfect cut just felt so good. We had to sleeve it right away. But anyways, to round one. Round one we played against Fiend Smith Kashtira. Game one we went first, we were nibbed, but we were able to solidify with our hand traps, Droll, and just keep the ball going because we were able to just kind of solidify. He couldn't swing over the big chunky Nig token that we had, and we just kind of like grinded it out for a bit until we had enough for game. Game two, he went first. We impermed him, he passed. We drew for turn, we drew another imperm, so we just impermed the unicorn. Went full combo. We were trying to bait out as much as we could, not knowing what he had. We went into red ransom, he purged it, that was his set. I was like, perfect, we're gonna go off. So we made update jammer, went red ransom, update jammer into access code, chain update, chain 2 access code, and we just had access code swing for game. So secret texts, they work. Honestly, I'm kind of liking it. I am liking it. We haven't had the opportunity to try out the math mech ending quite yet. We did open up Sigma, and we really like specialed Sigma just to like confuse them. So there's that, but we still got 3 or 4 more rounds to go. So we'll see where the night takes us. All right, so because of the hype of Stampede, we haven't really recorded in between rounds, but rounds 2, 3, and 4, we played round 2 against a Blue Eyes player who's still learning how to play a deck. Game 1, we went first, we just set up our board, just couldn't push through, or we set past because we didn't have board to set up. We had a ton of hand traps though. Hand traps were enough to stall him, and I just top decked into a name to just combo off and go for game. Game 2, he made me go first with a pretty similar situation. We set, pass, we had TB11, Impulse, and Imperm again. And we stopped his plays, top decked into Math Mech Circular, and we just went full combo from there and just OTK with Access Code. Game 3, round 3, sorry, played against the full power Primite Blue Eyes. We went first, we established our board, he couldn't break through it, and then we just OTK'd him on the follow-up. Game 2, he went first, we played it very smartly on cracking his board, and we cracked it with Update Jammer again, and we just access coded him for game. So that was that. Round 4, we played against Galaxy Eyes, Primite Blue Eyes, and we didn't open up best. He also just had the interruptions. He went first. He was able to just establish his board, and we couldn't break it as much as we tried. The Druid Sperm caught me off guard, and that kind of like messed up my OTK line. So he took it. We just didn't draw any names. Game 2, we just bricked hard and really couldn't establish anything. He also Chaos Hunted me. Thankfully, we had the Exceed in hand, but we couldn't get into the Math Mech line, so we ended up not being able to get into that. So we take the L. Sad. But we are 3-1 with this new version of Malice. I think it's working out really great so far. I haven't seen any of my side at all, and like most of the times I have sided, we sided in like 8 cards. We haven't seen it, so we'll see what happens with the last and final round, assuming there is one more. I don't know. So the end of the night, we play against Voiceless Voice. We go game 1 first. We're able to establish a mediocre board, but we're able to just control. Or no, he goes first. No, I did go first. He was able to break my board because he had the Ghost Ogre, because I didn't open up all that great. So that kind of like killed me, and we were just hand trapping him, and he ended up taking it. Game 2, we were able to go first, establish our board this time. He couldn't break it. Game 2, we wish we kept Circular in, but we sided Circular out, and we were just playing a little grind game, but eventually I saw a starter, and we just popped off, and we OTK'd with access code. So we were able to take it, and we ended the night 4-1, placing us first out of 20 players. So not too bad with Malice. I think this version's good. We're definitely going to still work on it a bit, but we're going to put it on pause as we try some out of the other decks that did get lifted from this ban list. So stay tuned for those. But that is it for this Local Diaries, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and let me know what you think of this updated deck profile of Malice. But we'll pass it over to you.